Oh my goodness, thank you so much for having me, Celia and Barbara and Unity of Fresno. Thank you. It truly is an honor and a privilege to be here. And it wasn't until about 2 or 3 days ago that I realized I was giving my talk on Mother's Day. I was all, oh, maybe I should change it. And I realized that wasn't going to work. But yeah, so just a moment again for all the mothers and every one of us that has been a mother, or not a mother, but we have mothered. Mm-hmm. Because we know and believe, and as we experience through unity and new thought and all of that, that we are all mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. You know, whatever our gender may be in this physical body, we still are all of that at all times, at any given moment. And we get to experience that and share that. And so thank you all for being part of the world and the universe that contributes in that way. I decided, you know, that I was going to go along with the nature. And God in nature, and how we see God in nature. God as nature, and how the different ways that we can express that and see it. And when I was going through the titles that your wonderful, wonderful leadership team has put together, the title of this talk kind of just, it talked to me, came to me, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to say about this, but that's what I need to do. And how, in my own spiritual journey, I've always found it very easy and very, whether I believed in God, knew what God was, or could define it, whenever I would see the beauty of nature, you know, the sunset, a blooming flower, a sunrise, a full moon, shooting star, a running river, snow-capped mountains, pine trees, camping, all of those things, I'd be like, wow, there's definitely something wondrous. There's definitely something at work. Isn't God wonderful to make all of this? Wow, amazing, in awe. And then going to, and being able to shift to, why would God allow drought, typhoon, capsizing boats, disappearing planes, mudslides, hurricanes, floods? Why would God allow animal extinction? Why would God allow these people to die in this natural event? God can't be that good. I mean, these are dialogues that I've had within myself, thoughts of myself, things that I've heard other people say. How could God let this happen? Well, God has a purpose. And that never quite rang true, and that never felt good to me. It never felt like there was that was really what God was doing. You know, why would God do that? And I am grateful that over the last few years and really reading the Bible more, which I hate. I despised and hated for a long time. I would not open the Bible. I didn't say the word God for about 10 years, let alone go to church on a Sunday. But Unity helped change that. You know, Unity helped me shift and see that it isn't about God out there, God as a person, God making things and keeping a tally as to who's naughty or nice, like Santa Claus. You know, God isn't that. God doesn't do that. God doesn't make things happen in a sense that it's a God outside of us. God doesn't make nature. God is. God is nature. God is you. God is me. God is all of everything. God is the omnipotent, that all good, all knowing. Everything that is, without an opposite, without a label of good, bad. You know, it just is. Exhale. That's a little deep. That's hard. That's taken me a while to, to own, to walk with, and to be okay with. Oh, I'm God. You're God. We're God.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That is. So what about nature? What about nature? And Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, talked about nature, defined it. And I love this definition. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read it, because I don't want to mess it up, and say Charles Fillmore said, when it was actually Rebekah said. Charles Fillmore defined nature as the intellect's name for God.
Wow.
Can you say that again?
I can say that 3 times if you want. The intellect's name for God. The intellect's name for God is how he defined nature. Now, it's really interesting because Charles Fillmore wasn't the first one to use that definition or to define nature like that. Thoreau and Emerson were some of our big transcendentalist new thought movement beginners that talked about the oneness between humans, nature, and God, and that there wasn't a separation. We may not see ourselves in it. We might, because there's also that great scripture and that great part of the Bible that I'm sure all of us were very, very familiar with, unless, and God, I'll misquote this because it's the Bible, but how God gave man dominion over the earth.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen that misconstrued, that dominion means dominate, control? That's not what it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be a control and a manipulation and a domination. Man with dominion over the earth means to care, to take care of, to be the caretaker. Ooh, wow. Kind of shifts everything. When I first heard that talked about at a Unity service, I was all, oh, that changes everything. Oh, well, take care of? So how do we do that? How do we take care of and have dominion over the earth and nature and be at one and see the oneness, like the song talks about, which was exactly word for word from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. For everything under the sun, for every season, for everything, there is a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There is a purpose for everything. It's the labeling it where I've had to do my work. I don't know about you, but I know my work and my challenges have come with the, okay, I can't label this good or bad or have that judgment around something that's happening. Because then that's where my mind, my intellect, that lower God self likes to find and play on and hold on to that separation. Because once I've started labeling that storm really bad, drought, terrible, the floods, that was a bad thing, but that flower, beautiful. You know, the carnations and flowers that were handed out, those are beautiful. Until you think about they're actually dead and dying and have been killed, and you're giving.
Thank you.
No, but it is
I
about.
gave them
But
plant
exactly. But that's what it's about. It's how we label it and how we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we label it and what we call it is. I mean, that's what Unity tells us. That's what metaphysics is about. What we label it is. It's beautiful, it's ugly, it's pretty, it's good, it's bad, it's alive, it's dead. Boom. We've called it that, and that's what it is. So it's up to us. It's up to us to shift our thinking, to change our labeling, to step back and go, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know why these things happen, how these things happen, but what can I do right now? Flowers are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers are gorgeous. A flood is amazing. It is an amazing power and energy. Yes, there's some destruction, but it is not us to label it. And when we do, that's where we keep the God is out there, God is doing that, and I'm right here. And that separation between man, nature, God gets bigger and is kept open. So what do we do? What can we do? What can I do? What can you do? Well, I don't know the answer to all of that, but I know for me, what helps is just to say thank you. Just to say thank you. Gratitude. Gratitude is the most powerful, amazing tool that I found. Because gratitude doesn't have a value. There is no bad, there is no evil, there is no good. Gratitude is just being grateful. And it shifts. Because, we do believe and we act and we know and we see. Thoughts held in mind create after their kind.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts held in mind create after their kind. So if I am walking around judging everything as bad, negative, what's my life going to look like? Ooh. And when I'm able to find I can tell you what my life looked like when I was doing that on a regular minute-by-minute basis. I was not happy. I will tell you that. For me, I was not happy because everybody had it wrong. I knew what the right way was, and when you weren't doing it that way, well, yeah, you can go do that. You can go do that and some more and go, and I would just shut the door. Leave, walk away, turn my back. Because why would I want to be with somebody that was wrong? Doing it the wrong way. I mean, we all have that God essence, but there isn't just one. There is not one and only God being ultimate force in charge of everything. There's the absolute good. There's the absolute truth at work that we as human form we have the opportunity to shift it and manifest it and create it into physical reality a lot more than, some of the other living beings on this planet. I'm not going to say whether or not a dog can create a thought and manifest something into reality. It doesn't look like it, but I'm not going to say that they can't. But we can. I mean, we know that we can. We've seen it. And we've seen it happen. That we can shift and change the physical manifestation of the God energy. And it all starts with a thank you. It doesn't have to be a definition of, here's why this happens, here's why this is going on, let me explain it. Really? Kind of, I hear people do that and I'm like, ooh, really? You know all that? Okay. Okay. All right. Not going to tell you you're wrong, not going to tell you you're right, but all right. And so what we get to do is we just get to be grateful. Another great quote from Meister Eckhart, German mysticist from the 13th century. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. I don't like to pray. I don't want to pray. Prayer. Really? How about thank you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's a prayer. And you don't have to end it with thank you, God, or thank you. How about just thank you? There's no judgment. There's nothing attached to it. One of the few sentences, one of the few phrases that for me I can do, and there's my mind, my old self, my old belief, that things that I was integrated into my thinking, believing, being, and heart from a child, there's nothing attached to that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just thank you. And then we get to go on. And what's the next way? And just go forth and be, how is the next moment, this next breath that I get to be that intellect, the God being, expressing right now, tomorrow, in this very moment, how is it that I get to express and manifest God? It's your choice. You get to decide that. You get to think that. You get to believe it. And then you get to do it. And when we do it in that order, it's solidified. And it continues to create after its time. What was that? I see God in, what was I see God in everything every day? Yeah. God in nature, in every way, in every spot, in every place. Because God is the absolute good, with no opposite. That energy binding, flowing force through all of us. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.